This is Jeremy Wentworth-Stanley. I'm the fellow who has a hyphen in my name. The hyphen is silent, but I am anything but that. Today, in the sunny climes of Grey County, up in the hills, at my office in the barn, this is Jeremy Wentworth-Stanley. I am your voice of Respectonomics, and I'm joined by my co-host. In fact, I would say well, I won't say what, because Sarah's always putting me straight. And everybody says that. The listeners are always saying, Sarah's got you by the short and curlies. You listen to what she says. So, do you want to respond to that, Sarah, or do you just want to sweetly say good morning to everybody?
I'm going to say good morning, everybody.
Yeah, well, anyway, what we're going to be talking about, oddly enough, just as we have that little bit of banter, but before we get into the banter, two things. Would people please tune in to the Living Youth series? That's the one that's got Pelge's Pebbles, the story of a family. They are very short. They're mini podcasts. They're every day. And they are little stories with a message to each and every one, which is explained. That's the Living Youth, the Pelge's Pebbles. But we also want, Sarah, I know you and I want to emphasize one other thing. We now have well over 100, maybe 120 messages, conversations of this kind. And we are now saying that it's time for us to be with people physically. That means in the form of workshops, consultations, presentations, and speeches. We need to be out there because the message that we keep coming out with is so timely. We're living in a world where people feel divided, they feel isolated, they feel hurt, they feel empty, they feel like everybody's drawing on them. Our job is to put the drawing back into people. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I love the sir bit. Does that, oh, I feel all respected suddenly.
You're respected all the time. Now.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
just for now. Okay. Anyway.
Respectonomics.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
Respectonomics
saying.
is. Yeah. I know. But look, what we want to talk about is something that plagues nearly all of humanity, all of us. And that is this whole issue of the fear of looking foolish. And when we talk about the fear of looking foolish, most times it's an emotional exercise, not an intellectual one. What I mean is, if I said to you, I'm going to go and do something really, really stupid, you would say, that is very, very foolish. To which my response would be, yeah, I'm kind of frightened of looking foolish. That would be very straightforward, of the time and of the moment. But a lot of our behavior is modified by a fear of looking foolish that is in actual fact nothing to do with the activity that we're contemplating. It's to do with the fact of our childhood and things that have happened in the past.
Mm.
I think we can all remember the days when, I don't know if this happened to you literally, but have you ever gone onto the stage to deliver a Shakespearean speech? Have you ever actually done that?
No, I used to do plays and things like that. However,
Okay, then we're
Shakespeare.
getting close to the wire then. So you come out onto the stage, friends, Romans, lend me your ear and all that. And instead of saying that, you go completely dumb. Nothing comes out whatsoever. It's not stage fright, it's just a complete mental abrogation. It's gone. And you've done the work. There's no question. And what does the audience do? Roars with laughter. And afterwards, boy, did you ever drop your lines. Have you ever had anything like that happen? And it doesn't have to be literally on stage, obviously, but have you
Yes.
ever? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking everybody to think about something that's mortally embarrassed them because we've all got them. And it's because of that learned, experienced pain and the embarrassment and so on that came with it, we will now take action to make sure we don't look foolish. That's how we do it.
Right.
And I want to put two thoughts on the table. One is the fear of looking foolish is more historical than realistic. Most people, by the way, you say, I was on stage and I blew my lines, and 99% of the people would look at you and say, I don't remember you ever doing that.
Right.
They don't. So in other words, we remember more about the foolishness than the audience does or the onlookers. So the first thing to do is it's terribly built into oneself, the fear of looking foolish.
Hmm.
And secondly, we carry this kind of baggage. We have an opportunity to unlearn it. And I want to put two unlearnings in front of us. The first one is to engage in, if you've got an activity that you want to do and you think it's going to be, could run the risk of you looking foolish, you need, I need, we need to be able to relax. I mean, if somebody's at the top of the ski slope and they think they're in a race and they think that they could really, really look stupid, they could flip out. If they think that you might flip out and look really foolish,
Hmm.
chances are you will, because your mindset is obviously in the wrong place. Not only that, you're full of tension. And when you're full of tension, you can't handle the bumps in life. Your body falls apart. So what you need to do is to exercise relaxation. And a lot of people say, exercise relaxation? Yes, relaxation's an activity. It actually involves sitting down, feet firmly on the floor, on the ground, and then letting your body relax. And I've said to this 1,000 times, you start with your toes and you start relaxing your toenails. Do anything you want, but start relaxing and work up through your body. Relax your knee, relax your femur, relax your hips, relax your chest, relax your shoulders, relax your arms, and relax your face. Most people haven't relaxed their temples for a long time, but just going through that relaxation exercise, allowing yourself to relax, takes away a great deal of that kind of fear, and particularly the one of looking foolish. The other thing is this about looking foolish. We've talked about relaxation. There's some other techniques which we will cover in as we go through these fears, but the one I particularly want to recommend is this about the fear of looking foolish. First of all, most people would say, "Hey, Sarah, hey, Jeremy, give it a go." They would just shrug their shoulders and say, "Well, you may think it looks foolish. We think you should just give it a go." And I'm not talking about something that's going to do injury to you or another, but just to go out and do it and to ask for the order to be here talking about respectonomics, whatever it might be. You kind of just intellectually know that there is no significant risk attached to looking foolish, number one. But here's a piece of magic, and that is when we go out and look foolish, do you know that we most of the time we endear other people to us?
Mm. Well,
When
you're
you go in
vulnerable.
and hmm?
You're vulnerable.
You're vulnerable and you go in and people recognize that you've made a complete idiot of yourself. But you know what? That's, as you say, the vulnerability draws people to you. There's a sense of self-identification. You may be looking a bit foolish, but guess what? I did the same thing yesterday. So
Hmm.
in other words, understanding that it's very sympathetic, and therefore, if you're going to look foolish and it's going to endear people to you, there's a very good chance that you wanted that sense of endearment anyway, that you wanted to draw people to you.
Hmm.
And if looking a little goofy at one point draws people, well, that's pretty magical, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So we
That's
can
one of your
unlearn.
favorite sayings is draw alongside.
Yep, I know. And that's something we talk about a lot is drawing alongside other people and looking foolish. When I've been foolish, I can draw alongside other people when they look foolish and say, that's strange you did that. Let me tell you what I did. And we can have a good laugh and let it go.
Right.
And on that note, we rest our case.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Sarah.